We are live and I'm excited. Hi, it's Jo Irwin here, part of the Sacred You community, and I'm the tribe host of Empowering You to Live Your Best Life. And today I'm excited because I'm about to have a beautiful conversation with the gorgeous Ramona Oliver, who is going to be one of our readers at the HarmonyFest. How exciting. I love the reading parts. They're so my thing, right? So I'm sure just a little bit about Ramona, though, before we get started. Ramona's officially been reading for about 4 years. And like many, Ramona knew there was something more in this life than what her religious upbringing taught her. Okay, I can relate to that. But she had also been taught not to question it. Yeah, I can relate to that as well. So she didn't. Until one night, 4 years ago, she saw someone reading tarot live on Facebook, and it all clicked, like the penny dropped. Yeah. So she watched her for 2 weeks before she got a reading herself and confirmed that she'd always known. All right. And there's more. She is more. So being a constant quest for knowledge and enlightenment ever since, while also feeling her purpose of helping others find inner peace and enlightenment for themselves through card readings and energy healing, she looks forward to making new friends and conversations. So amazing, amazing, amazing. And Ramona provides honest but compassionate readings using the cards, intuition, and channeling. And she says, you may laugh, you may cry, but you'll always leave knowing exactly what the universe needs you to know. How beautiful is that? Yeah. That is incredible. So thank you so much for joining us today, Ramona, and introducing yourself to our beautiful community and sharing, your passion and love for what you do and what you'll be doing at the HarmonyFest.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Tell me, where exactly are you in the world?
So I am on the west coast of Canada, just outside of Vancouver, British Columbia.
Love it, love it, love it. I love Canada. I went there and spent 4 months in 2010 or 13. I can't remember now. But it was such a beautiful experience. I lived in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. And
nice, yeah.
It was gorgeous and glorious all at once.
So
what a beautiful, what a beautiful part of the world. And so tell us about this. I'm interested to know about you sharing that it all landed for you that night when you had this reading and you knew that you were called. This was part of your next, your next mission, your next steps in life.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that experience, please.
So it was, as you said, I always knew there was more. I always knew that there was something else out there, that it couldn't just be the limitations of religion. But of course, living in a very Catholic household and being taught not to question, I didn't. But I was always interested in all of it, all of the metaphysical stuff. My biggest thing at that time was astrology. I'm sure, as most people did, I would read the horoscopes in the back of the, trashy magazines in the grocery store while I was waiting my turn, and just always found it very interesting. And so when, as social media blew up, as they say, I started to join these astrological groups. I'm an Aquarius sun sign, so that's where I kind of went. And one night I got a notification that someone had shared a live stream. And most of the time when I'd get those notifications, I would ignore them because, let's be honest, I've got my own life to live. I'm not interested in what everybody else is doing, but something, I just felt that pull, that push to click in and watch. And it was a woman based out of Atlanta, Georgia, and she was doing tarot card readings for people. And I was stunned and fascinated, I guess, at the same time. Stunned that I was actually seeing this so open and out there. I mean, we're really doing this now, and fascinated because as she was reading for people, the comments were so so honest and so surprising in terms of how accurate this was. And that little voice inside of me said, I knew it. I knew it. So I watched her for a few weeks, and I would comment here and there, and finally worked up the courage to ask her for a reading myself. And she said things that I've never said out loud to anyone. And I've had tarot card readings before at, the fair in town and other events. And I always found they were a little bit, not to knock anybody and what they do, but for me, it just seemed very generic. It could have been applied to anybody that had walked up and got their reading. So when this woman read me, it was just like, oh, okay, so this is real. And at the very end of the reading, she said, and by the way, you need to get yourself a deck of cards because you are a spiritual healer. Whoa. And your guides and your team are waiting for you to get moving.
Wow.
And we had a conversation offline after that. And, she kind of told me what decks. I didn't know where to even look for tarot decks. Where would you get that, And so she gave me some advice, and we became really good friends, actually. And she sort of helped coach me through the reading process, how to learn them, gave me some tips and tricks, what she did when she started. And it just kind of grew from there.
Right. So it's something that can be taught once you know that you've got that gift, and how to tap into that channel.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I believe that we are all intuitive. We all have the ability. Are we all meant to share it? Are we all meant to be of service with it? No, of course not. No. I just happen to be one of those ones who was, and it was my higher self, my inner knowing that kept pushing me like, there's more, find more, be more, do more, yes. More was the theme. And this was where I landed.
Wow. So you threw yourself into it. And
I really did.
Sounds like you've been getting a nudge for many years, but you actually were ignoring the nudge until this evening when you couldn't ignore it anymore. It's like, you've got to watch this, like that real pull. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And you're like on the screen, like, whoa, this is resonating with me. And then that was the start. And that's fascinating, but it makes sense, right? Because often
it does.
Go through life so unconscious that we don't even listen to our inner,
that knowing. Part. We go through life unconscious.
Yes.
And so many people, and I guess this is why I've pursued it now as my passion, definitely, but as my purpose and what I'm doing with my life, because so many people walk through their lives unconscious and they're missing so many wonderful things.
Yeah, exactly.
And that became my mission, as you said, to really tap into that and really be of service to people.
Yes, incredible. And that part, about tapping in and using it as your, service to the world and to people that you can, help people with is incredible. And I think there was something when you were talking, it dropped, but then it's just gone. It'll come back.
Bring it back, spirit. Bring it back.
Bring it back, spirit. Yes, exactly. And isn't that being guided and being always listening is really important for everyone, whether you're a spiritual reader or not.
Absolutely.
And listening to the nudges or the messages that come through that we ignore. Which could be taking you on a much, much more exciting journey than you are now. So that's very brave, actually, to decide, coming from such a religious background and stepping outside of that and exploring the possibilities of your gift. And it is a gift. I just want to say that's really, I love that you have taken that huge step and have been exploring and learning and getting as much knowledge as you can. So what sort of let's talk about the actual readings that you do, because like you mentioned Oracle and Tarot. I would love to know what the difference is, or is there a difference?
It depends on who you ask. I will put it like that, because for me, there isn't really a difference. And why I say that is because so much of the messages are actually channeled for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes that I'm using the cards more for the person who's being read than for myself to receive the messages. I find that if I am sitting and having a conversation with somebody and I start telling them about themselves, from that spiritual place, it could come across as, me just butting into their lives and giving them my opinion of things. So when I have the cards, whether they be the tarot or the oracle, and I can sort of say, look, this is what the card shows. You see this part of the card? This is what I'm talking about when it comes to your career path or your relationship or whatever it is that they're asking about. Having that tool as a visual aid for them to receive the message is why I use them. But I could sit and have a conversation without any tools, and still receive basically the same message because I'm an intuitive channel.
Right.
So when it comes to tarot, there are some people who definitely believe that the tarot cards versus oracle cards are different. And I suppose they are in the types of messages you can get from them if you are relying on the card to deliver the message.
Yes, good point.
Yeah.
Good point. So you're getting the message as you get the card, or when you get the, or as you get the card, as they're coming forward, you're getting also these, does it come in the form of any type of, do you hear, do you see, do you feel audio?
It's a little bit of everything, to be quite honest. I would say more so hearing. And when I say hearing, it's not hearing as you and me are having this conversation and I can hear your voice clearly, you can hear mine. It's what I call a spirit voice. And it almost sounds, to me, the best way I can describe it is when you're remembering a conversation you had with someone, you're not actually physically hearing their voice, but you are replaying it in a way in your mind.
Wow.
And that's what, for me, that's what that voice or that hearing is like. But I will see things. A lot of times I'll see, it almost looks like a movie on fast forward. And I'm just catching like glimpses of things. I do get feelings as well, especially when I'm doing energy work. So Reiki and things like that, I will get physical feelings. I just had a session last night, and I told her, I feel as though like I'm getting nauseous. I'm feeling something in my stomach. And she said, yes, I've been having stomach issues for the last several weeks. So I will actually feel physical things as well.
Yes. And I hear that from a lot of readers and intuitives and channelers, that they do get the physical response to the person that they're reading for, which is fascinating, isn't it? And that's, I think that's really key, because there's something more tangible to share or coming through, right? And just more or less, like you said, just I'm feeling this, and then they saying to you, oh yeah, well, and it's confirming, right, what you're actually experiencing, which is pretty damn powerful. I didn't know you're a Reiki, and actually a lot of readers are Reiki masters too. I did it like when I was pregnant with my third child. Oh my God, this is going to be a little bit embarrassing, but hang on. He's 35 now.
Okay.
So 35 years ago, like,
wow.
And it was such a beautiful experience. Like, I believe that when I did that, he has got the energy as well, because he was born, he didn't want to come out for a start. He was born 10 pound 5, and I had to have him induced because it was 15 days or something, or 21 days over. And I didn't want to, but I, in the end, said, well, you're not going to move, buddy. Let's get you out.
Help him out.
And he came out and he had the sac intact, so he couldn't even break through the sac.
Wow.
They had to sort of tear it. And then he looked at me and I went, we just nicknamed him Little Buddha. He was so like, and I knew that he'd had some gift come through, because I was doing a lot of spiritual work back then, and the Reiki was like the cream of the thing for him. So, and I've always thought he's carried that through all of his life. He's been safe.
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just a little side note on Reiki.
No,
But
I love that. I love
that to
that.
you. And so I believe you'll be doing the 4 days at HarmonyFest.
I
Exciting.
will. Yeah. Very
And you
excited
have
about that.
certain times that when people book, when you book, everyone, if you're watching and listening, when you book, there's a link that's going into the comments where there'll be the times that are available for a reading with Ramona, and very reasonably priced, by the way, everybody. So jump on that and get some insights for yourself and your life. And Ramona, tell us anything more about what you offer, as far as, do you have a specific clientele or a specific niche that you find come to you?
It's yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. And I didn't really realize it until very recently, actually. So I was doing, card readings for people, and a lot of those readings mentioned something about childhood trauma, that kind of thing. And I had a moment where I sat and I questioned it. Why are all these people coming to me? What's going on? Yeah. And because I at the time didn't believe that I was, how can I say this? I didn't believe that I was qualified to help them with that specific concern, because I didn't believe I had any childhood trauma, but I thought about it the way I'm sure many people do, which is the very, very, very traumatic, the very terrible thing. And I had a moment with Spirit where they said, okay, you should think about that for a moment. If all of these people are coming to you with this particular issue, maybe you should learn about that. Yeah. And I immersed myself in learning about childhood trauma. What is it? Where does it come from? How do you help someone who has this? And my mind was absolutely blown by what I had learned. The biggest thing being that it's not these drastic, terrible things. And this is in no way minimizing those things, but childhood trauma is any time a child in their formative years is made to feel unsafe. Well,
yep,
that's all of us.
That's all of us, exactly.
Yes. To what degree, that depends on your individual experience, but that just opened my eyes and my mind and my heart, quite frankly, to really diving deep into that. And so now I've channeled a complete program around inner child healing.
Yep.
And so these are now the clients that I'm finding are coming more and more to me are people who really they come for a reading, how do I get myself unstuck from where I'm at right now, or whatever it is. But then it leads to, we've got some childhood trauma that we can deal with that's going to help you get unstuck. So
yeah,
I guess those are the clients that I tend to be working with right now. I don't want to limit it to just that, but really it's about people who are committed to the journey, committed to their healing, their own empowerment, their own enlightenment, people who just want to live better lives.
Exactly. And you're so hit the nail on the head type of goosebumpy thing, because exactly what you said is so true. We are all wounded in some manner, and it doesn't matter how little or big. And I had a conversation about this the other day, I think, online, and it's still stuck in the unconscious as a truth. And until we get there and unlock it and a belief system as well, and look at what the little trauma, like I remember one for me was standing up to read in the classroom in class 4, and I got criticized and laughed at because I wasn't reading. I was holding on to that for years and years and years as an adult, right? Until I was like, really? It's surprising how the little things they can actually run you. So thank you, Spirit, for guiding Ramona on that path, because it's such a huge area to start with.
It
when
is.
when we're healing the blocks, why am I not moving forward? Well, maybe you need to clear some of that. Yeah.
Exactly. And just kind of like you said, you know, that one little thing. I mean, we all got teased in school. It's what school is all about, really. Part of it anyway.
Yeah.
But having it be such an impactful moment then when you were in that formative stage of life, I'm sure when you look back on your adult life, you can see where that one thing did actually teach you how to cope or not cope with similar situations in your adult life. You maybe held yourself back from doing certain things because of fear of being criticized.
Absolutely.
But you wouldn't make that connection until you uncovered that event and how you carried it all through your adult life or into your adult life.
Exactly. Absolutely. And that's exactly what it was. Oh, well, that's why I'm like this or that. And, you know, whatever. That's how why I reacted like that, and how I protected my heart, and how I couldn't have a voice, all the things that we feel. So it's so important. This inner child work is really, really important to, I guess, start unraveling what potentially can unfold in that space of moving forward and continuing to, and it's never ending. It's a journey, right?
I say that all the time. Healing is not a destination. It is a journey.
Yeah.
And this is why I specifically ask for clients that are committed to that journey.
Ah, yes. Did you hear that, everybody? Ramona's declaring that people, and this is my thing too. And I guess they only show up when they're ready, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've had clients come for one session, you know, whether it be a reading or a Reiki session, and realize, you know what, I'm not ready for this. Yeah. And, you know, I send them away with love and with light and invite them to come back whenever they are ready, or because I'm not a pushy salesperson, or to find the healer that fits.
Yeah.
You know, as long as they're taking that journey, getting on that journey when they are ready.
Yeah.
I wish them nothing but the best.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. That's so on point as well. And the other thing I want to say about that is, when Spirit said to you, this is the journey you need to go on now and offer your services to me, that's an opportunity to heal our own inner stuff.
Oh,
and the fact that you went into action and learn as much as you can is just, you know, an indicator of the beautiful character that you have in wanting to do that work, and then having to work on your own inner self at the same time. And I find with clients too is that they show you what you haven't really looked at yourself.
Oh, do they ever?
Like a mirror. And it's an opportunity to heal at the same time. So that's definitely beautiful. Do you find that?
Oh, 100%. There are so many things that I've learned about myself in the last 4 years. And I learned it all while I was working with other people. You know, and I've had to really sit with some of it and think, wow, this has been, you know, I'm going to be 46 in a few months. This has been a 46-year battle. You know, this has been something I've carried a long time, you know. So
but it's
definitely eye-opening.
Yeah, so buried in the unconscious that we don't often see it until we're shown. We're ready until we're ready to see it. So I want to say to people also that, you know, it's never too late to start healing this. You know, I'm 62 now, and it's been a lifelong journey for me to be doing the work. And there's always something more. There's always something new, and I'm like, whoa. So it's an ongoing practice, I call it.
It is. And, you know, I'm going to use the cliche. It really is peeling back the layers of an onion. You peel back one layer and there's 10 more waiting, you know, but it doesn't have to be daunting. It doesn't have to be frustrating. Well, I mean, it can be frustrating at times, but it doesn't have to be that, oh man, I got to do this like for the rest of my life, my existence here on earth. It has really beautiful and rewarding moments as well. It's hard work,
Yes.
Healing is hard work, and it's not for the faint of heart, which is why there are so many wounded people wandering around the planet right now.
Absolutely.
But when you get on that journey, and if you tackle the hard stuff, the rewards that come after that are just,
Amazing.
I get goosebumps and I get teary about it, because it's just like, why wouldn't you want to live that way?
Yes.
In that beautiful existence, I said this to somebody the other day. I have never felt more present in my own identity and my own body and my own spirit than I do right now. And that is because of the healing that I'm doing myself, on myself, with myself, for myself, through healing other people.
Yes.
What a gift. That's the gift. That is the gift.
Goosebumpy moment. Yes, love
Exactly,
it.
me too.
I love it, and that's so true. And the layers, when you, like, it's almost like you're reaching another part of yourself you haven't seen before, and that's a beautiful experience when you can go through and like peel and bang. Oh, well, there I am, and that's who she is, and it's a reminder for you to keep moving forward and stepping in more of who you are. And absolutely loving this conversation. Thank you, Ramona. And
thank you so
I'm
much.
just mindful of the time, but we've still got a couple of minutes. So if there's anything that you want to share in regards to the HarmonyFest, or anything else that comes through for you?
No, just that I'm really excited to connect with people internationally, and share that little piece of me for those 4 days, for anybody who's considering it, who maybe has never had a card reading before or never experienced something like this before. You really don't have anything to lose, and what I do want to say as well, for not just myself as a reader, but for all of the readers and practitioners and in this field, is that even if the message doesn't resonate in the moment, hold on to it, hold on to it. And you never know. Sometimes the universe gives us messages now for later. They like prepay. They prepay for the show.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Point.
So
I love it.
they give us that stuff, and then I've had it happen. Doing a reading, and I get that blank look, like, I don't really. That's not. No, it doesn't make sense. Okay, well, just put it on the shelf. Just leave it there.
It's
and 2, 3, sometimes a few weeks later, sometimes a few months later, I'll get an email or a phone call or a message on social media. Oh my goodness, you'll never believe what happened. Actually, I do believe it. I was just waiting for this message. That's my sassy side coming out.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's so true. And so Ramona's doing 20-minute readings, I believe. Is it 20?
Yes. Yeah, 20-minute readings.
20-minute readings, and there'll be a link to book in if you feel called and resonate with what Ramona's sharing with us today. I encourage you to not hesitate. Book your time now, because I know these readers will get booked out, and that's only a few days away. Next week. You're starting on the 11th and going right through to the 14th. So, but you've only got certain time availability on those days, correct?
Yes, that's correct. I do still work a day job, so I've had to fit this in around my schedule there. But
so you'll need to jump in and book her out so that she knows what's going on, and she can work around her other things as well, because that's the thing, right? We're all got other stuff going on, so it's really great to have the booking so that you're prepared, you're ready, and excited to deliver the goods and the service, which is very cool. So any last words of wisdom from you before we close our chat today?
I guess the thing I will leave, or the words of wisdom I will leave behind, are just find your authentic self and live it out loud.
Oh, that was a message I got in my meditation this morning. Beautiful. I knew that we connected for a reason. Yes.
Exactly.
Oh, that's beautiful. So thank you so much for joining us all the way from the other side of the world. And we are looking so forward to having you on in the HarmonyFest doing your thing, and we're going to connect again. I think we're going to be doing some connections as well. So please, anyone watching, drop a comment, let us know anything landed for you, because sometimes in these conversations there's a lot of messages, right?
Oh yes.
So
yes.
And spirit's coming through all the time. It's
all the time.
So thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest
Joanne.
of your day, evening.
Yeah, we're just going into evening now.
Evening,
just about 4:30.
Welcome to the future. We're in the
yeah, exactly, right?
And we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.